Hey guys, Mark Farashi and Rocky here. Mark Farashi and ProTech with my dog Rocky. And I've got some food motivators today, and I'm going to try to keep him in the drive with the food. What I think I'm going to do with today's little session is start getting have some fun. There's all kinds of things we're trying to show you as far as teaching a dog to have engagement, getting him into a heel pattern, where his head's at that focused heel. That's some of the stuff that I've demoed. Nope, couché, come here. That's enough. Couché. Pas bouger. Pas bouger. Good. So I was thinking it might be fun for you guys to start seeing a little bit of tricks. Okay, there's all kinds of things we can teach a dog that we do with tricks. And when I was a kid, I was telling you about having a dog that I had, an Australian Shepherd Queensland Heeler mix a rancher gave me when I was about 12 years of age. And it was my first experience. I was on the ranch with my mom, and she was into horses, and she wanted me to train horses. And I didn't like horses as much. I couldn't read them. I can read a dog and see his ears, his tail set, but I have a hard time being able to sense and feel a horse when you're in the middle of the saddle, and it's your ass and it's being able to feel that animal. It's a different whole thing. And I'm good at it, don't get me wrong. I can get on a horse and I can train a horse. I can do all kinds of little things, but there wasn't passion behind it. I didn't have a passion and a drive, and so it was my way of getting kind of away from mom pushing me to go after the horse training, and so I went towards the dogs. And with this Australian Shepherd mix that I had, I ended up doing all kinds of fancy things with her. I got into wanting to find out how many words a dog could learn, my voice tone, my body language. I was aware of all these things, and I was really just using it. A lot of the things that you can't do when you go out to a competitive type of thing like AKC, you have to be real rigid. You can't give the dog any cues. You can't do any of that. But here, my personal opinion is, when I work with companion dogs and I work with my customers, is I want to hone that. I want to teach you how to communicate with your dog, and it doesn't really matter to me what I do to get that dog to do what it's supposed to do. So if I've got to help the dog with little body language of things, just being aware of it and being able to understand how to back that off and not have it in your picture is important when you get out to going to competitive, so you need to understand that. But at the same time, in the beginning when we start training, I use as many body language and voice tone cues as I can get to be able to convey to the dog what I want the dog to do. It helps the dog be able to learn, and then my job is to phase that out, and that's the way I do it. So that's kind of the way that I work, and I've talked about the powers of 2s and 3s. So I'm going to show you today with Rocky as best I can, because we're on a tripod, so that means I don't have somebody following me. I only have a limited frame that I can stay in, that I can teach you this. But I'll show you the weave trick, and it's something I've already taught him, and we'll talk about a little bit about drive state, okay? The difference between food and ball drive, okay? And there's a lot of difference when you have a dog that has a high drive like Rocky here. Okay, so in that regards, we want to be aware of that and cognizant of that, and I've talked to you about it before. The way I usually work, when you see me working with a clicker in the very beginning with my puppies, and then I'm using food as a lure. And I do that enough that I get the dog into the food, and then at some point I start phasing into toys, okay? But my concept and my whole philosophy is that I want to put as many tools into my tool bag as I possibly can that I can use and condition this dog for the future, okay? Because the dog's going to be with me if I have my dog 11, 12, 15, 16 years, maybe longer, okay? That being the case, the better communication baseboard I have with that animal, that's all very advantageous to me, okay? So I build those little blocks and conditioning so that I have them to work with. I have a clicker, I have food, I have toys, and then later on down the line we start teaching the dog variable rewards and all the things that we use to condition an animal to do what we want them to do, and to have a good communication baseboard so the dog understands it. And when you get a real smart dog like those Australian Shepherds, cattle dogs, a lot of the trainers you see online that are on these YouTube vids, they're using those dogs, and they're using them because they're like cutting through butter. The dogs work like a top. They're not as much of a challenge for me, so you don't see me having a cattle dog. I'm not enthralled with that because I know what they can do. They're amazing, okay? So I go towards dogs that are going to be a challenge to me, and training is going to be a challenge to me, because that's what floats my boat, because my knowledge base is a little higher than most, and I like something that's a challenge to me, okay? So that's important to me. Winter like it is, all right. So in a nutshell, I'm going to teach you how to do this weave, okay? So I'll do it in a flat thing, I'll break, and we'll come back with another video, and I'll put a couple of videos together, I think, and start showing you how we taught the dog to weave between the legs. So let me show it to you now. Oh, yeah. Good boy. That's a boy. Let's get this out of the way. Oh yeah, good boy, good. You in tune with the dog? Use my voice? Good, that's my boy. Are you happy, happy? Are you ready, ready? Good boy, are you ready? Good boy, good. Go into patterns he already knows. He knows this little game means to look at me and not this hand. Yes, good boy, good. And now I've got him in food. Oh yeah, good boy, good. Yeah, 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 good boy, good. That's my boy, good. All right, all right. Yep, my brake release, through. I'm gonna need to get these bowls out of here because he's going into other things. It makes him, there you go, makes him tick. See this? Oh, good boy, yes, good. All right, good boy. I'm not gonna nail him for it. I'm trying to teach him something new, remember? Yep, he actually knows this one I'm gonna show you, but I wanna get these out of the way because I don't want him going to the bowls right now. So we're gonna get these out of the way. Oh yeah, good boy, good. Oh yeah, good. Yep, my brake release, come on. Yeah, good boy. All right, through. Good boy, through. This is a game that he knows, which means get between my legs, right? I'm gonna need to get rid of this leash, which gives me no control for corrections with a leash, but we're gonna use food. All right, yep, through. Nope, through. And that means to come around that side because we've got a weave, what I'm gonna show you in a second. Through. And I use my hand, and I want the dog sitting up like this. I don't want him really standing in the air, but through. Good, good. I see. Gusha. Good. You see some of these YouTube videos where the guy get out there with a gun and he's moving with a dog and the dog's tactical. And they do that. It's kind of a fun little game, but how functional is it in the real world? That's debatable. I see. Good. Good. But it's a fun thing to teach and it kind of goes right in line. Gusha. Good. And I've got a weapon. Yeah. I see. Good boy. And I could do that and show off a little bit, but I won't. So we're going back to this weave. All right, here, we're gonna put him in front. And I've got food in both hands. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have him following the lure around this way and then pick him up with his hand. See how I did that? We'll try it again. Here, good. So I've got the food and I've got him well conditioned to be lured. I take him around this way and put him through the center. Okay, now I've got to start getting him used to my stretch of my legs here. See if I can get back a little bit so make sure you guys can see this. Rocky, here, nope, good, that's my boy, good, yes, good. Keep his attitude up. Weave, yeah, yeah, go, and I'm stepping, see it? And I'm using this hand to lure this way and back into this and keeping my hands in a luring pattern. So I've got to get him back between those two legs. Weave, good, here, here. This is how you would do it in the very beginning that a dog didn't know it. Weave, good, there you go. And so your reward placement would be right there and then right here, see it? So you gotta draw him through the legs, get him over to here, and then keep that going, and you're almost 100% reward, reward, reward. You have a high repetition of rewards. Good boy, good. Now, at this point, I'm gonna keep the dog doing this. Here, good, good, good. Keep in mind, Rocky knows this already. I'm just trying to show you guys how I built it. Good, good. Backing up again. I don't know where my camera view's at, so I'm just gonna keep trying to stay in the camera. And here, let's see if I can get the pattern going again. Here, good, there we go. Good, back out here, and then right to here. See how he's used to that hand? And then right to here. So the challenge in the beginning is to get him to understand that that food's gonna go back and around. All right, so let's try it again. Rocky, good boy. Good, good boy. Now, this is a trick. Remember I was telling you about teaching a dog about duration marker, and I was saying good right between the legs. I start using that duration marker at a very young age, and I start teaching the dog what a duration marker is all about by building it from that point from my side, okay? Now in this case, I want to build this trick into teaching the dog to understand variable reward. And we talked about that a while back. Variable reward is something where I don't give the dog a reward placement or a reward history every time. I start backing off to every third, then every 2, then every 5, then every 2, then every 6, and I keep doing that, alternating that reward placement till the dog starts working better and more consistently because he knows that reward is coming. So that's what we're trying to convey to the dog when we start teaching him variable reward. I don't think it's going to be on the second one. Maybe it's on the third one. Oh, there it is on the fourth. Oh, then it's on the second. See what I'm saying? So you've got to be really intermittent with that, and you build the dog to understanding the concept that the reward is coming. And what happens with that variable reward? Rocky, up, yeah. Couche. Nope. You couche. What happens with the variable reward is it's proven that it increases behavior and intensity and all kinds of things that come with the variable reward. But I need to convey the thought of it, and I need to start putting it into my training program as I build the dog at a certain point. Rocky is ready for that. Rocky is ready to start really understanding what variable rewards are and what I'm going to get out of that if I do it properly, and you do it in certain key points. You saw me doing it if you watched my video on teaching the dog to bark at me. Okay, that was one of the first places that I started teaching a dog to variable reward. Because he barks the first time, he gets it right away. The second time he gets it. And as I keep doing this day in and day out and keep building on my repetitions, I start sliding till I don't give it to him right away. I only give it to him on the third one. Then it might be the fifth one. Then it's back to 2. And each time I play with this variable reward. And what it'll do for you when you put that tool in your tool bag of teaching the dog the concept of variable rewards, it will end up increasing your intensity and your longevity. The dog will work longer with more of an intensity behind it, okay? That's what we want it for. Rocky, get over here. Get over here. Couche. Good. You're making me look bad. Good boy. Asi. Couche. Good. So, a little bit of an introduction to variable reward, all right? Now on this one here, we call this the weave, okay? You can probably find it on YouTube. There's other people that are giving you lessons on it. Here, good. Weave, good boy, good. Now, notice where the dog's head's at mentally. Where is his head at in the work? We talked about this a little bit too before. He's into going after this food. And then we want that in the beginning to teach a dog something, and we go through it, but there's a certain point we might start taking in toys for this. Okay, so I want you to watch this dog's drive state when I bring out toy. Okay, the drive state changes, I have more intensity, and now I have to worry about some other things as far as his accuracy going down, other things that may not be as proficient when we bring in toys. But you want to talk about teaching a dog something and getting him to do it and really have a lot of drive behind it, you bring in a toy and start working him with that, and you watch what happens. So watch what happens. I've got my toy, I show it to him, watch. Weave, good boy, good, look at his intensity. Okay, all because he knows I have a ball. Yes, and I then throw it off to the side, and I keep building on my variable reward, not letting him know what side it's coming from. It might come from the left side, might come from the right side. And I keep building on teaching him the variable reward, and I've now brought in another factor, which is toy. And I can get a lot more intensity. The dogs learn a lot faster, but they get sloppy. There's all kinds of other aspects that come from building a dog in drive like that we may not want. So we've got to balance it. That's why we use food and toy. Okay, I might have to go back to food to get more accuracy and build in some repetitions and get a static type of a workload, right? If I do things static and I isolate behaviors and I make sure it's exactly right, that's how you see those folks doing things out in the focused heel and Schutzhund, and that focused heel is showing up in all kinds of sports now. But that's where it comes from, okay? From the food and from isolating behaviors. And we'll talk about that at another time. But this is just a little peek of something that I've taught him that I'm going to be doing more and more of. I'm going to be doing a demo this weekend with a bunch of people out of a park that another dog training friend of mine set up, and I'm going to go out and do this demo for them and try to educate some other pet quality people. No harm, no foul, just because you need to learn and grow, that's what it's all about. Can't expect you to be doing this since you were 12. Huh, yeah. Okay, we're going to do this one more time and we'll end it. Weave. Good boy, good, yeah, good boy, yes. And I threw it to the left this time. And it's a 2 or 3 and it may stretch, and I'll start putting in more of a variable reward. It'll increase intensity, longevity, all kinds of things that come in with variable reward. Now you've got to build this in. Remember the pieces of the puzzle and how you build the dog. You can't start this on day one. You have to teach the dog all the other pieces of those puzzles, and you have to have those other tools in the tool bag before you go to trying to convey the thought to the dog of what variable reward is all about. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day, and we'll see you later. Out. Good. Asi. Up, yeah. Up, yeah. Good. Couche. Pas bouger.